Hey guys, I guess I am jumping on the bandwagon again. This is the time of year that everyone posts a video or a status update of some sort of, their year in review and their gains and losses and things like that. Then they go on to say their goals for the new coming year. Yes, I'm a couple of days behind. So I guess with that being said, I'm going to do that. Typically people about this time say, oh well, it's a brand new year, it's a brand new me, I have new motivation to do things now, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna whatever, and I'm gonna do it. And then, the next day they're like, yeah, this isn't working, I'm not going to change. So I said all of that to say this, I am not following this is a new year, this is going to be a new me, this is going to be a change of heart. No. My new me happened on June 5th, 2014 at an old-fashioned camp meeting, and that is the night that I gave my heart to Jesus, and I made sure that I knew that I'm going to go to heaven when I die. Not based on my works or my righteousness, but based on me accepting Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, accepting his bloodshed for my sin debt. That's the reason I'm going to heaven, and I needed to make sure of that. So that's when my change of heart happened, but, being at the foot of the cross doesn't happen overnight. It's taken since then to get where I am, and I'm not anywhere near where I should be with God, but I'm here and I'm growing and I'm learning. So I guess to reflect on 2017 was a rough year for everyone. It was a good year, but it was full of growth and full of continual changes. In January, like I said, last December, I was jumping into the dark. I was completely terrified of the next year coming and what was going to happen, because I had no plan, I had no idea. I had scenarios, but I didn't know which one was going to happen. In February, I resigned at the preschool I was working with, and I was teaching with my best friend in the whole entire world, my mentor, and she also resigned there at the same preschool. I started working for Coda full-time, and that was a blast. By February, I moved in with my other best friend who was my age, and we lived in an apartment together, and it was so fun. I had my best friend with me all the time. It was great. We fought like cats and dogs, but we learned a lot from that. Then I got a car in February also, and I learned a lot about driving and a lot about being responsible. And a lot of things happened. Meanwhile, my best friend has been engaged, so that was fun. I got a lot of new opportunities. I got to do a lot of things. Then flash forward to the warmer months, I got to hike almost every day, and it was a wonderful year as far as that is concerned. And then in June, we went to move my best friend move the majority of her stuff down to Kentucky, and my car broke down and we were stranded there for an extra day. That was an interesting time. So I went from June to just recently without a vehicle, which was an interesting time. Then she got married and moved, and life has been different ever since. There's just a lot of things, little details that I don't have time to describe, of how God orchestrated the entire year for me. And he provided for me in a way that I can't explain. I guess I was facing a little bit of this in July, but I missed church camp this year, the first time in forever, and I was at Coda, and I got to learn a lot. I learned so much about myself at that point, and we had a blast with the counselors. Everything was really, really fun. So then at this point I am told that, I should probably get another job in case Coda cannot fully financially support me. So I was scared to death. August was rolling around. Well, it was August. I had no secondary job. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was terrified. I didn't know where I was going to stay, where I was going to live, what I was going to do. And then all within a couple of weeks, an opportunity came and I got a job teaching preschool and kindergarten, and I got a place to stay, well, places to stay, thank you to my wonderful Fayette County family who looks out for me and wants the best for me. And I turned 21 in September of 2017, but a couple of weeks before that, I had a really, really, really hard attack, spiritually and mentally and emotionally. I think I had talked about it a little bit in a story time video that I posted a few months ago. That was interesting. And on my birthday, I don't think I included this, I may have, but oh well, I'm going to tell you about it again. On my birthday, I worked at my new job, which was really fun. It was my first day on the job, and it rained all day long. And then I went and worked at the Coda Center and cleaned out the building so we could have our food pantry, and cleaned out yucky freezers and refrigerators, and that was an interesting time. And then all I wanted was pizza. That's all I wanted. I wanted to eat pizza and be happy. And by the time I got home from town, I had one slice of pizza and one breadstick. And by the time I got home from town, I was so sick, physically and mentally. I was dry heaving. It was awful. And I was scared. I cannot explain to you how terrified I was. And I think God used that to bring our family closer together and bring me closer to Him. I had been praying for a while that, I wanted Him to make me spiritually aware. I wanted Him to give me spiritual desires, and He did exactly that. And it was terrifying. So I finally feel normal. It's taken like a few months, but I'm finally normal. Everything has been crazy. The past 2 months, there have been a lot of deaths. A lot of people have died that has been in our circle. And it's been rough on their families and on us. But I believe most of them were born again, so yeah. So 2017, in a sentence, would be crazy, and it was a growing period for me, and I am nowhere near done growing, but I have learned so much in the past year that I need to work on. I learned a lot about myself and the things that I need to do, the areas that I lack, and what I need to be doing for God, and it's just been a wonderful and terrifying learning experience. So anyway, in a quick note, I want to talk a little bit about 2018. This is the first year in a long time that I have actually made any goals. I know that that sounds so horrible, but I've been against New Year's resolutions for a really long time because it should not take the new year to motivate you to try to be better. So I just kind of don't do that usually. And on Sunday, which was New Year's Eve, I went to church with Nicole. She came in, which was great. I got to see her for the first time in forever. And Tony preached on what is your plan? What is your goal? And that was just in a spiritual sense. So with that being said, I decided that I was going to make some goals for myself this year and to try to strive to be a better child of God and to be a better witness to people. So I sat down a few moments ago and I wrote a list of what I wanted to do this year, if the Lord tarries, that is, and leaves us here for a whole other 365 days. And I'm telling you this because I want you guys to help keep me accountable. I mean, obviously I have to keep myself accountable, but when you tell other people things, they usually remind you, hey, have you done this yet? Or how's that going? So those of you that watch this, help keep me accountable whenever you see me or whatever. One of the things on my list, I want to pray every day, especially on schedule. Now, with that being said, the other day I made a list of every day of the week, and I'm dedicating each day to a particular prayer. Like, Monday is for missionaries and evangelists. Wednesdays are for my church family and their needs. Granted, there's a long list of things for each day. So I want to set aside each day to pray for something specific. So that's something that I want to do. Another thing, I want to read at least a chapter in the Old Testament and a chapter in the New Testament a day. I know that's kind of a small goal, but it's one that is important. I read usually one chapter in the New Testament, but I want to do both in one day, and maybe that'll strengthen my faith a little bit. I want to pass out at least 7 tracts every day that I go out. I'm out 5 days a week, sometimes 6 usually. So, you know, that's 7 people a day, 365 days a year. It's a lot of people. So I like to do that more. I want to make at least 1 new video every month after I get caught up on the other ones. So be watching for that. It'll happen eventually. Lord willing, that is. I want to learn to play the bass well before March. Mr. Bailey wants me to play bass in New River Youth Symphony, so that is very exciting and also scary. I want to be better at remembering and keeping my word. I keep my word mostly, but there are some times that it just doesn't work out, and that is awful. I want to hike at least once a week. That'll be better once the weather is prettier. And by prettier, I mean warmer. I want to learn 1 new necessary life skill, whether it be survival or whatever. And I'm sure that there are other goals that I have that I want to accomplish this year. But as far as that goes, there's my list of goals. I hope Jesus comes back before the year's out. And my camera battery died, so everything else I said, I guess, was just for my Christmas tree. Anyways, thanks for watching. Here's to 2018, and be watching for new footage and old footage and videos that need to be on here. And conveniently, that's my mom texting me right now. Woo! All right, here's to 2018. I'll see you guys in the next video.